GKFX Prime presents the Market Analysis Webinar.
Hello traders, and welcome to another week in the markets. You know what time it is. It's another video, another weekly analysis of the charts. My name is Dima. We have the first week of June overlapping into from the last week of May. We've got a new month, a new monthly candle. You're going to see some more price action develop, and it's NFP week, first Friday of the month. Let's have a look at what the charts have for us as always. And I've selected, once again, if you've been with me before, you know the drill, some charts, a selection of different pairs, different assets, and let's see what the market is showing us for this week. As always, I'm going to start with the economic calendar so that we know what we've got coming this week, where to place ourselves in the market, where the volatility may likely to happen, and we can be aware of the news in terms of placing our setups correctly and being in line with the market. Okay, so we've got for this week, let's have a look. Monday, maybe a quiet day. We have got lots of bank holidays, and Monday typically a slower day, but you never know. In this week is bank holiday week. Tuesday, we have from Switzerland the GDP on the quarterly basis, and on the dollar consumer confidence results as well. Then on Wednesday, as usual, into the middle of the week, we've got things getting a little bit more interesting on the yen consumer confidence from Australia, Bank of Australia speech there, and the CPI numbers. So this is one to watch for this week. From the euro, the ECB financial stability review, that's another one to watch out for. On the CAD, GDP figures monthly. On the dollar, job openings, again from Switzerland, retail sales, and once again on the Swiss speech from the SNB. So Swiss will be one to watch for. We've got on Wednesday, we've got it on Tuesday as well. Thursday, we have big news from the euro speech, monetary policy, and inflation rate news announcement. So several to watch out for. We'll be watching the euro there. On the dollar, manufacturing PMI on Thursday, and of course the big one for the week, NFP on Friday. Mainly the ones I'll be mostly watching out for is the Swiss, because we've got several ones for this week. The euro, because we have multiple news. Australian dollar, because of the news on Wednesday, and of course the NFP. So let's watch out for those. Okay, let's have a look what we've got for this week. A little bit overlapping from last week. As always, we're going to monitor and watch out for what's going on in the markets. Just because it didn't happen last week doesn't mean it won't this week. So we're going to keep monitoring. Let's have a look what we've got for the charts. I've selected a couple of new ones as well, just for variety, for you to have a wider picture of the market so it doesn't feel all samey as well. Okay, let's begin with the majors. As always, I've got the Aussie dollar for this week, and what we're looking at is a continued drop on Aussie dollar. So here we are. We looked at this area being the target, which we have now reached into. So let's just remove all of these. We expected this deeper retracement to break out of this zone here that you can see, this range, and we have done so. So now we've got big bearish candle broken out of this range, and we headed lower. So what do we expect? Well, there's no reversal yet, so more further price action to the downside. And now that we are deep in this retracement, I would not look to go much further. And what I've been mostly focused on is just, first of all, the low of the week, and then possibly the next obvious swing right here at the bottom. Let's go to the lower time frame. So here we are. Let's take the last obvious swing here to look out for an entry, And here we are, we've got the 61.8 and 78. So we have a possible gap here in the market, and then we have the little retracement phase here. So what I'll be expecting is a little further pullback and then continuation to the downside to go into last week's low. Now we are selling at a fairly low price, so cheap price, so be aware of that. And let's see where if we go further down. Now don't have a big expectation of this because we are in a slightly higher, lower probability scenario because of the fact that on the high time frame we have reached down into this, deep into this retracement. So not going to expect miracles from the Aussie dollar, but dollar is still bullish. So let's see how this one does. So that's the overall idea there. Okay, let's move on now to the next chart, and the next chart on the list. Let's go for Euro Pound, and let's have a look on the weekly once again. Euro Pound, we were looking at this range last week where possibly we have a turnaround in the market on the higher time frame. Marked out this area. You can see that we are in this retracement phase once again. Very choppy price action, and once again we did not get that push higher. We've just been ranging the whole time. So now that we've not got anything significant, then what I would look is basically look for the same thing as planned last week. And what you can see, the plan was for the market to go into this zone, which we are bouncing off of, and then to push higher. At the moment we did not have any clear push higher. It was very lackluster, did not really want to move higher, and the safer bet, which I prefer in terms of probability, would be this idea here. So prefer to see the price significantly break through this zone, through this range right here. A nice push, nice break, come back to a better price, and then create that swing and then move higher into the next obvious levels. If we look on the weekly again, these are the levels, and look for a reversal. You can see last week's candle ended up very neutral. The market doesn't really want to do anything at this moment. It's just very yeah, not clean, is it? It's just choppy and messy and not getting any clear direction as yet. It still wants to range and continue in this price action for now until we have a break. So if we have a break lower, then we're going to sit it out and look for reversal. Break higher, then we know what to do in this case. All right, that's the Euro Pound. Remembering we have Aussie news, so we've got Aussie dollar, we've got Euro news, and that will possibly come into line with the Euro Pound. So let's see how that works out. Okay, next one I'm going to look at is dollar yen. So dollar yen, looking at bullishness last week and the previous weeks. As expected, continued bullishness, broke through these levels. Let's now delete them. And the next level I'll be watching for is this obvious swing right here. So here is that swing. Let me just mark it out about the 142. Let's go to the weekly. You can see that swing here, and now bullish. Continuing on the bullishness is what I would expect to reach into this level now that we have no turnaround, no sign of reversal here. So we're just continuing with the bullish idea. Where's the next place to look out for? Well, we've got this obvious level here. So what I would do is, this being the target, just look for that drop into the better price and then continue to the upside. It's the most obvious thing to do at this moment. So here we are, remembering that we've got NFP week this week, let's see how the market unfolds, but that is towards the latter side of the week. So yeah, at the moment, if the price action gives it to us, then yeah, so be it. And in terms of invalidation, the last obvious swing is down here. We can see that clearly. If we breach, the market breaches, price breaches this low, then this whole idea collapses. We're no longer going to look for the upside. But at the moment, since there is no reversal, the high probability seems to be to the upside, I would say. That is the dollar yen. Let's go to another yen pair. Oops, where did I just disappear? Okay, got it back now. The pound yen. That's what we're looking at next. So another yen pair. And let's have a look on the weekly. You can see, just like with dollar yen, we've got bullishness on the pound yen, continued bullishness here with these clear bullish candles. And the next point to watch out for is the next obvious swing, which is up here at, let me place the marker, about 175.3. I'll be looking for the market to reach into that, and it will be a similar idea to the dollar yen as you may have expected with the weak yen. Here's the level. To get a better price from, cheaper price down, create a reversal and move into that price, into that 140, 174 level. Yeah, 175. Just before that, let me just make it a little bit clearer. It's about 174.5. That's where we are, 174.8, I should say. That'll be a bit more accurate. So that will be the idea on pound yen, and the invalidation will be this swing low right here. If we breach that, if we reach it, we'll see. So obviously the deeper it goes, the deeper retracement, the better the price, the cheaper the entry, and the better risk to reward we get in terms of this trade would be more favorable. So no price action to show a reversal, clear signs of bullishness. So let's continue with that on the pound yen. That will be the idea there. Okay. Next, let's have a look. The next one on the list. Let's go to pound New Zealand on the weekly, and here we are. Expected the bullishness on pound New Zealand as well. And last week, look at that massive, huge engulfing candle, which engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles. That doesn't often happen. Massive bullishness, a huge week, 700 pips. So we hit that target of this level, and the next target would be this high up here. Seems to be the most obvious logical place, doesn't it? So a few weeks ago we looked at this level being the continuation higher. We didn't do that, didn't create a reversal, didn't push higher, it failed, broke down, came back to these lows one more time, and just as it came and took these lows, then bam, we had a massive rally. So now let's just delete this, look at this fresh, and what do we have? Well, we can see we had a massive rally, and what do we have? After a massive rally taking out the highs, we usually have a retracement. So let's wait for a better price. We don't want to be chasing the market. As we go into this level, we're also very near it. So what does that mean? We want to get a better price and a much deeper price in order to buy from. So here's one level. If you want to measure a fib from the low to the high, we also have 61.8 and 78 here. However, don't expect such a deep retracement because we have extreme bullishness here. So we may not get that optimal entry price point. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's watch out for these levels. If we get that retracement, then some kind of reversal price action around this zone, and then continuing to the buy side, which is at 2.052. Let's place the marker. Here we go. That's the idea on the pound New Zealand. Quite obvious, I would say, in terms of probability, the continued bullishness. We have this clear bullishness, breaking the highs, and then a massive big candle. Now, the beginning of the week may have tricked you, may have confused you with this price action, and it came down and hit the lows one more time here after being very clearly bullish, but the bias still sticks, and we have the upside prevailing. That's where we are on pound New Zealand. So that's the bullishness. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. So the next minor pair would be Aussie CAD. What we got going on with Aussie CAD and why have we picked that? Well. Right. Aussie CAD, you can see clear bearishness, clear weakness in the market. Last week we had a very weak candle. Clearly bearish, clearly weak. And where do we look for the next level? Well, here would be that price point, the next level, and possibly into this gap in the price. And I'm looking at this as being the impulsive initial move, and this being the retracement. So we are in that retracement phase. We've heavily retraced. So now we are getting close to the ultimate target point before a possible reversal. However, yeah, we're very close to it. So the thing to be aware of is the fact that when this happens, we get very close to targets on a higher time frame. We don't really want it becomes a lower probability, and we don't want to take big risks. But the bias in terms of the week itself is to the sell side, because we have still got this bearish price action and no sign of reversal. Because of that, what will be the next thing I'll be looking for? Well, I'll be looking for a place to trade from to get a better price. And here we see a level. So a possible level here. And some kind of turnaround. And then continuation to the downside. And the target would be the lows. Because I don't know how much further the price is going to go. So the probabilities of it creating a much deeper retracement, they begin reducing. They get lower and lower as we get there because of how near it is. It's kind of like a block. It's a place where we expect the price to turn around, so it may get choppy, a bit like the euro pound one that you saw earlier. So you can kind of see the patterns, the way that it's planning out, and the market tends to speed up, slow down at certain points depending on where we are on the higher time frame. Now, what would invalidate the Aussie CAD? Well, we've got a high here that I would not expect it to breach. So that means if price goes beyond this level, then this short idea of selling the Aussie CAD would be invalidated, and I would no longer be interested. We may get choppiness, and we'll see, look for higher prices. So we kind of got this trend here, if you like. So going to continue on that trend until we see otherwise. And at the moment, there is no reversal price action, nothing to show that we are heading higher or reversing yet, unless the picture changes, unless we get a different scenario. At the moment, still weak, so let's look out for that continuation. Okay, so that's the Aussie CAD. Hope that was simple enough for you. Again, if you want to pause the video, you know, at any moment and have a look at the charts again, compare it to yours, and really place those together so that it's much clearer for you. If you think I'm speaking too fast, but I'm trying to make this video as concise as possible, but take it one bit at a time, and don't rush, you know, take enough time to plan ahead. Now, right, last but not least, as always, I cover crypto. So I thought I'd do a little change, you know, a little something a bit different for this week. So instead of going with the usual ones, I'm going to go with a different crypto. I'll go with Litecoin on this occasion. And what do we see on Litecoin? Well, on the monthly, we have a bullishness. We can see wicks to the downside. We have bullishness on Bitcoin as well. And what I'll be looking for is more bullishness overall. So last week, quite unclear market. We have this week to the downside. However, this was an inside bar, quite neutral in its close. Previous week was bullish, and then this could see possible swing. And after this swing low and this swing low, so another possible swing low down here to reach into the highs. Looking down, you can see on the daily, we have this possible low now being protected, going higher, breaching this high. And we may have now created this retracement and then heading higher. Now, what do we want to see? If we're going to see that confirmation to continue to go higher, well, we want to see a break of the swing. So if it is indeed going higher and this is not a whole big range, then what I would prefer to see is, in terms of probability, a break higher, come back, get a better price, and continue to the upside. So that is where we would be going. Higher still. So is our next obvious high, and the one after would be this high up here. Let's go back to the low time frame, and let's just for a moment consider another possibility, which is we can come back lower once again. As long as this low is not taken out, then the bias to the buy would still stand. So we may get another push down, of course, that's always possible, and then again, even better price, even cheaper price, as long as we get that reversal, a price action reaching to the upside. Here's the upside, 105.3, and the next one after that, oops, let me delete this one. Next one after that is 112 or so. There's your idea on the Litecoin there. Okay, so still quite a choppy market, not quite clear where we want to go, especially you can have a look at it on the weekly. You can see that we have been ranging, kind of stuck in a range. However, we are in a bullish scenario with these higher highs and higher lows, and just going to wait for that sort of breakout in the short term, another break higher to confirm, to add to the probabilities of the direction that we're looking for, and confirm that we have a new swing, and that won't be confirmed until we actually break. So that's what I'd be looking for on Litecoin, right? And if you think about the other cryptos and you're looking at trading them, well, it's a kind of similar idea. They kind of move in a similar fashion, more or less. It's somewhat related, usually led by Bitcoin, which is the biggest one, and that's what tends to happen. I would say it doesn't mean that it will, doesn't mean that they're always going to move in tandem, but most of the time that's what happens. Right then, so those are the charts for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Click like if you haven't already, subscribe, and have a comment. Place a comment below if you've got your own chart or you want to ask any questions about this week's video and what we've got for this week, the shortlist that I've picked out. Maybe you've got your own. These are the higher probability charts that I see for this week. All right, guys, manage your risk as always. I always say here, number one, numero uno rule, and trade carefully, plan your trades, trade your plan, and don't try to enter them all at the same time. It's not necessary. So pick your entries and your charts carefully. All right, focus in, hone in on the one that is the highest probability. Okay, speak soon, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you again next week. Trade safe, watch out for the NFP on Friday, and let's see once again on next week on Monday how we play out and how NFP, if anything has happened with NFP or not. Doesn't always. Okay, speak to you guys soon. Good luck, good trading.